What's up and welcome back to a kinda funny Gamescast breakdown of the Xbox Game Showcase for 2025. Of course, I'm your host, Tim Geddes. I'm joined today by Blessing Adeoye Jr.
Good day, Tim.
The master of hype snowbike, Mike.
Great to see you, Tim.
And the Nitro Rifle, Andy Cortez.
No Bloodborne.
No Bloodborne.
Messed up.
No Bloodborne, but a surprising amount of Hollow Knight
So
much
much.
shown. We're going to talk about all of that because, of course, this is the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Each and every weekday, we get together to talk about the latest in video games, and we do it live on YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, please support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts to get all of our shows ad-free, and you get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be part of this show, though, YouTube Super Chat in. Let us know what you would grade this Xbox Showcase, and also what games are you most excited for. Get all those Super Chats in, and we'll talk about them throughout this episode of the show. A little housekeeping for you. If you can't make it to Greg Miller's Game Showdown Championship Parade on June 28th in San Francisco, don't worry. You can celebrate at home with our new limited time merch drop by Campfire Design. Celebrate like a champion. kindoffunny.com/shop, kindoffunny.shop to grab yours. I think both will work, but go there and buy the shirts if you need to. I don't really recommend it, but you can if you want to.
There's such good shirts, though.
I've always wanted Game Showdown merch, so I'm happy that Greg decided to take over the first 3 shirts that we dropped.
Yeah.
That's nice of him.
The show that I, put in blood, sweat, and tears.
Oh, man, everybody.
They're all just Greg Miller shirts.
Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney Twining. Today we're brought to you by X-Real and Factor, but we'll tell you about that later. Let's get into it. The topic of the show. Xbox Game Showcase 2025. No longer are we in a world where Activision shows up in a couple different places, Bethesda gets its own showcase, and Xbox does its thing. Now it's all part of one giant experience featuring a direct after. This is our 3rd year we've now seen this, this time featuring on Obsidian Games' Outer Worlds 2 and the surprise of Grounded 2. Overall, Xbox Game Showcase. What are your top-level thoughts, Snowbike Mike?
Ooh, Tim, coming to me first.
Of course.
Top-level thoughts, Tim. You know what? It was a really nice afternoon being spent with all of you, so always remember that. I really love seeing games and hanging out with you. But for me, on the Xbox Game Summer Showcase, I was going to say this, Tim. You know what? The opening was really weak. And I think the first-party promotion was also on the weaker side. I think first-party was lacking this year when we come to promotions, trailers, get hype moments. And so I just didn't feel like oh snap, Xbox has got the games. We know they have the games, but this summer showcase didn't show we got games, right? And so I'm a little lacking on that one. Also, a lot of the games that were shown aren't my style. I actually come out of this enjoying Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest that had more games that spoke to me than this one, unfortunately. I thought the third-party support was pretty strong with Persona and Final Fantasy. There was a day back in the day with XCast that Barrett never thought Persona would be on an Xbox. Now we get Persona 4, which is great to see him happy about that. And Xbox fans can be very excited about Final Fantasy coming to their consoles with 16 today. And then, of course, this fall, we will get Final Fantasy VII, which is like, hey, finally, that's a big help. And we knew Phil was bringing that team over to help us out and get over there. Man, oh, man, Tim, I thought we would see more EA or Ubisoft here. We did not see those 2 big parties present on this. So I thought the overall third-party support was kind of mid this year. It wasn't blowing me away on this one. I also thought that we had a very weak Call of Duty reveal. That was a crazy way to end this showcase of like, hey, 25 years of Xbox. We got Fable, we got Gears of War, and we got one more that's been with us, ride or die. And you're like, okay, Phil, what are we talking about? And then we just got a Call of Duty reveal that was not exciting, right? When I think Call of Duty, I want guns, I want action, I want COD, and that was not it. I do want to give major shout outs to, of course, Obsidian, who is putting out 3 games this year. That should be applauded. And also Clockwork Revolution from In Exile that absolutely showed up with a mega kind of breakdown show up that I thought for sure we'd be showcasing this game for this year with the release date. Kind of tough that it's like, hey, we'll be there when we'll be there. And so this year for me is falling in the mediocre to okay range, a 5 to 6 area for putting it on the Kind of Funny scale. Like I said, first party, I think Xbox has got ahead of it saying, hey, we want you to love us again. We got the games. And for the past 2 years, we've seen those games, but they're not ready yet, or we know they're coming. And so we kind of got to this moment of like, man, how much can we show? We're not there yet. And so we can show only so much. And so you got DLCs that will hold you over. When I look over, I don't want to talk too long, but you look at the end of 2025, I don't think this will go down as like a strong end. It will be a good end. Because when you really look at it, we have a whole lot of games to play. You're backed up. But I think it's missing one piece to be like, that was a really good another year to end this off. But we have so much games. We know there's more games coming. So for me, right down the middle, mediocre to okay. Wasn't blowing away. I think next year will be better. Let down on it.
Before we get to everyone else's thoughts, I do want to say that the homies over at Activision have sent us a ton of codes for the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 Foundry demo that's now available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC for people that pre-ordered the game, as well as select Game Pass subscribers. But if you just want it for free, if you're not one of those people, Roger is going to be dropping the codes in the chat throughout this episode of Gamescast. You need to go to TonyHawkTheGame.com/pre-order to redeem the access code, so you get to choose what system you want the demo on. So these codes then need to be used. TonyHawk.com, TonyHawkTheGame.com/pre-order. Go there. Look at them in the chat. Bless.
Tim.
Where you at with this one?
I will say that I was surprised and delighted during a lot of this showcase. I would personally give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a solid great. I go through announcements that were here. Games like Super Meat Boy 3D was a surprise. That delighted me, right? You get to Clockwork Revolution, and I'm with Mike as far as, I thought you would have ended this trailer with a date, because this is a long-ass trailer where you're showing us a lot of the inner workings of the gameplay. And I think my main critique with this trailer is that it was a load blown way too early. Like, if this was the trailer you wanted to show, you should have waited until last moment.
We got to follow up next year with this.
Yeah.
It's like you already showed way too much.
Like, this is the trailer you show when the game is out this fall. Like, this is the trailer you show but right before the game is out. And so I think we might have seen too much of it, but I'm not going to complain too much because every moment of this game that we saw was pretty fantastic. Aphelion from Don't Nod was a surprise, right? Like, I know there are plenty of people that love Don't Nod, that are Don't Nod fans, but Don't Nod now means more things to more people as far as, their history with games like Life is Strange, but then like now recently doing things like Banishers and then also Jasant. I'm somebody who's always, on the lookout for what this studio is doing next, and this game looks really different and really cool, and I like the direction of it. Mudang Two Hearts is another one that looks really cool, right? Giving us kind of that like third-person action shooter / undead / stealth sci-fi thing. Like, it looks like it's taking a lot of inspiration from a lot of different places, but even as we were watching it, one of the things I mentioned is like, it feels like we're not getting a lot of games that look like this anymore as far as like the third person campaign like action shooter game, right? Like, if you're not Capcom, like, I feel like we're not getting as many of these. And so this looks cool. It has some Splinter Cell kind of energy to it, but then a lot of weird supernatural stuff going on, and this looked really cool. And then you get games like At Fate's End and Persona 4 Revival and Invincible Versus and Keeper. Like, this showcase had a lot of announcements that really spoke to me, right? I think for a lot of this is going to be determined down to what is your taste in video games, what are the kind of games that you're looking forward to, and a lot of the games that showed up here are games that I look forward to. I think at the same time for me, though, I have questions of where was Fable, where was Perfect Dark, where was E-Day, where what's going on with Forza? Are we going to see a new Forza Horizon type thing, right? What's going on with anything Halo? I think if I'm coming into this with the mentality of somebody who's a first-party Xbox fan, then I totally understand the disappointment as far as what are the big dogs doing. But I think overall, though, I had a good time, and I think the only times where I felt any sort of bored was when they were doing what feels at this point like housekeeping. I think we have to have a discussion around the Fallout 76s and the Elder Scrolls Onlines and the Sea of Thieves, the games that are mainstays because they're at every single Xbox showcase, and I understand that. But those are the parts where now I'm like, every time I'm like, all right, cool. Like, Sea of Thieves is back. We're going to get an update. Like, I understand why you talk about it, but I get bored. Like, that's just the reality. I like that you bring it up because I think they've finally found a better rhythm for them. They're shorter, they're in, they're out. I think back in the day we used to clump them all together and we would really sit there, Bless. So I think they're mainstays. They're going to be there. And if you're a fan of that, you're excited, right? Because these games are getting content. They're staying in the mix. And I think they've done a better job of like, let's space them out. Let's get in, let's get out. Sure,
Fishing stayed its welcome.
The fishing did not get in there. Get
But
out.
like Sea of Thieves, that came in. It showed you smugglers, got you out, and made a way out of its way. ESO, you probably don't even remember what ESO showed you because that's how fast it was, right? And so I think they've at least done better at how they show that is right.
Yeah, and also there's a argument back and forth of which had the worst ending between this and SGF, in my opinion, right? SGF, at least we got Resident Evil 9, which is exciting, but the build up to that was terrible. This here, to Mike's point of, we got something, that's been with us since for the history of Xbox, and you have a really, really cool cinematic opening, and it ends up being a Call of Duty. I understand Call of Duty, biggest game of the year every year. It is a fantastic cinematic, but it is a big letdown when I am looking at this trailer. I'm like, oh, what is it? Is it a new Prey? Is it Perfect Dark? Is it a weird Fable thing? Like, what the fuck is this? And it turns out to be a Call of Duty Black Ops thing. I love Call of Duty Black Ops, but I don't think this is the way to show this.
I think this was them showing you, hey, you should be interested in our campaign.
Yeah.
Like, I think this was their attempt at saying, hey, that thing you've been drinking, by the way, sugar-free, calorie-free. Would you believe that? And you go, oh shit, I didn't know. It's so delicious. I think the trailer looked awesome. It looks great, and if it's anything like Black Ops 6 and how amazing that campaign was, and that's such an underrated campaign, I think that's something that people should definitely play. And this looks like, hey, it's not just bro army shooter. Look how weird this can get and how kind of supernatural and very Remedy-like that this can get. I thought that looked pretty great. I'm with Bless. I'd go 8, maybe 8.5. It's up there. I really think that this showcase had a lot of awesome surprises, and some things that we didn't know still looked amazing. Clockwork Revolution looked fantastic, like you had mentioned. At Fate's End, was it?
Yes.
And the Mudang game, of course, looked really, really fantastic. But there was also just a lot of, Planet Alana 2 is such an awesome little announcement to happen. There was a lot of unknowns showing up here that really looked great, and I think they knocked it out of the park. I won't disagree that when you say the developer that's been with us from the beginning, I'm like, oh shit, Halo, like, oh my god, that's all this can be. But it's Call of Duty, and not everybody's gonna love that. But
just real quick, like one thing that I think is important to note, and I think it's just weird because they had the in person
On-site?
on camera bits with with Sarah and Matt and Phil. All of those, I feel like they didn't really do a great job of making it clear what exactly they were talking about. It kind of just feels like buzzwords. But the quote here that Phil said was, in 2026, Xbox will have a new Fable, the next Forza, Gears of War E-Day, and the return of a classic that's been with us from the beginning. So that's not what
not what Call of Duty is.
But that was
It
not
was
well
weird
presented.
like have that be the setup into the next thing.
Yeah, Sarah Bond talking about Silksong a whole bunch, and then us being like, wait, did she mean later this year that the game is also coming that year? I think the ROG Ally Series X or whatever they're calling it got me really pumped up.
Yeah.
As somebody who is 3+ years into owning a Steam Deck, and I still love the damn thing, but I would love more power at this point. And early on when we're hearing about this Xbox handheld, I go, no, that sounds like an absolute no for me, because I don't want to just use the Xbox launcher. The fact that this is going to be this Windows mobile thing, including every launcher that you could want, and it doesn't just look like a Windows desktop,
Did they name Epic?
Huh?
Did they name Epic?
I don't know.
I don't
think
hear
they did.
Epic,
They said,
yeah.
like the fact that they said Ubisoft, Steam, and
think
Battle.net
Epic's
and
missing.
everything. Okay, Epic is missing.
Interesting.
I mean, I don't.
Epic is missing.
I feel like that is something that could easily be done
Yep.
with this sort of launch. Either way, I'm like, oh, this really, really turned around my hype levels for what this handheld is, because
Same.
I'm always caught in between that weird area of like, my Steam Deck has all of my Steam games, and yes, I can easily put a Ubisoft loader like I tried doing with Prince of Persia Lost Crown before they eventually went to Steam, or I could get the Epic Store on there going through the desktop mode or whatever. It's annoying to do that shit. Like I love tinkering with shit. I don't love doing that level of tinkering when it's like I have to plug this into the HDMI to like type on the screen. It's annoying, right? This seems like this could be the solution, and immediately turned around how hyped I was. And I think it looks awesome, and the UI looks really slick.
I imagine the other launchers are going to work just through Windows, right? So like Epic should work.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm assuming is like, I'm
Yeah.
sure there'll be a solution there. Maybe it's just Epic didn't agree to the marketing or the mentioning or whatever, you know.
I also want to go back to the Call of Duty thing because I totally agree with you as far as getting people in and being like, oh, this looks cool. Oh, this is Call of Duty. I think my main critique now I think about it is the fact that it closed the show. I would have had this be either
that's how you
earlier
open the show.
or open. This
Yeah.
would have been a sick show opener. I
Yeah.
think it being the show closer kind of sets expectations.
Yeah.
Well said.
Double
totally
Fine's game
agree
looked
there.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim, what'd you think?
Yeah, this one, I feel like caveating this with last year, I'm pretty sure I gave the Xbox Showcase a 10 because I think that was a masterpiece of a showcase. And I feel like with that context, I put a 7.5 on this. I think it's between good and great. I can see an argument for saying it's great, but personally, like, I'm not that interested in most of these games, so I'm sticking with my 7.5 there.
Game Freaks game, baby.
I mean, that looks
Insane.
absolutely wild,
Looked
right?
rad.
But yeah, looking through here, a lot of really quality stuff. I think overall that was a great presentation. It was well paced. Like, we moved pretty quickly through things, and there was a lot of like, moments through that, which was cool. I do think that some of the on-camera stuff, actually probably all of it, was not right. Like, it was a little bit like, what are you telling me right now? Like, Matt Booty or whoever it was, I think it was Matt in the center of it, talking about Game Pass and stuff. It's like, what? Like, we know.
Yeah.
And I get that you're going to remind people things, but I feel like we're still a little bit, there's just too many brands. There's too many things to keep track of when it comes to this is an Xbox Game Pass and the cloud and all that stuff. And it makes sense and it works, but I feel like we're still not quite there of, I understand what that means, you know? Not just me, but I feel like normal people watching the stuff that if they're going to talk that way, it's for them. But a lot of pretty big surprises. Did not expect to see Final Fantasy. I really thought that if we ever did, it would be a Game Pass deal, and it's not. It's not Game Pass. It is coming to Xbox. You have to buy it. And Final Fantasy 16 Complete Edition coming out today. That's awesome. I want to see that game find as much success as it possibly can. The Tony Hawk stuff, obviously, I'm going to pop off for the secret characters, and the 3 new levels look awesome. Ninja Gaiden getting a date. It looks great. Like, there is a lot of stuff here that is cool, but to me, Super Meat Boy 3D. That's the one
oh
that
my
I'm like,
goodness.
the big surprise and delight of like, oh yeah, never would have saw that coming, and I'm stoked for it. And I am very excited that they did talk a little bit about the Xbox OS and that they're taking that stuff seriously, because I think that is very, very important for the strategy of Xbox to be successful. And I think that it's proving to be successful. This was a very, very, very good show of just showing that they have a ton of games, a ton of great partners when it comes to Persona and Final Fantasy. Ending on Black Ops, again, I think it's the placement more than anything that's the problem there. That is interesting. I do think it's cool that the big budget AAA shooting games are still having campaigns, because that wasn't always the thing. And the campaign last year was awesome. So if they can focus more on that stuff and actually like tell people, hey, we're taking this stuff seriously, and so should you, I think that's cool, but not as a show closer for an Xbox showcase when you have so many cool games to talk about. I do think they're definitely teeing up for an amazing 2026 after an amazing 2025. I'm not taking away from where they're at here. But yeah, them hyping everything up for next year, I think it's going to be a banger showcase next year.
It's really interesting to me. I know we're all giving our quick thoughts, and we're trying to keep it short, but you guys not really mentioning many first-party titles, right? Bless highlighted Clockwork. I know Andy likes that, and we're keeping it short, but like all of you are highlighting third-party games here, and it's like that's where I'm coming from. Like, feels like we missed on that front for an Xbox showcase.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on them not, if the games aren't ready. I think E-Day, I'm more and more thinking that E-Day will be a game that they shut off that initial teaser, and we won't see that for a couple years. Like, I'm closer and closer to that sort of line of thinking, in a similar vein to where you get a little tease of Wolverine, and Wolverine's been gone for a long time. And I'm also kind of used to this sort of showcase for the last couple of years of the first parties just aren't, they're cooking elsewhere, and we'll let them cook for a while. But, I'm not basing this on where are the Xbox first party games. I'm still just basing this on, are they showing cool shit or not?
I think my thing is I came into this not really having the big expectation for, all right, what are the surprises that we don't know about? I feel like there's a good majority of Xbox studios that are working on games that we already like know what they are, and then the ones that we don't know of, they just released games. Like I don't know what could have been here aside from an Everwild, or like if Rare decided to scrap Everwild and they were doing something new that could have shown up as an Xbox first party thing that I would have wanted to know about. And then as far as the things that we do know, I am like, where are those things? But at the same time, going back to the predictions that we did last week for Xbox, the theme of my predictions was that Xbox was going to have a banger 2026. I'm coming out of this showcase being like, yeah, Xbox is going to have a banger 2026, right? Like when I'm thinking about 2025 for Xbox, I'm like, man, this is Obsidian. Like this is Obsidian's year. Like this isn't Xbox, this is Obsidian. And then also, of course, Doom and South of Midnight and stuff we've gotten, right? But like, I feel like right now Xbox is loading up. I don't want to compare it to the Dominoes because I'm tired of the Dominoes.
Putting the dominoes
They're
on
going.
the table.
I mean, they're fucking going. Like, it's been done at this point. Like now it's just like the next wave of banger games.
But yeah, 2026 feels like, I guess, a landmark for where we're at with the dominoes falling.
Yeah. I mean, I got to bring up one thing that I don't think we've said so far on this show. No State of Decay?
Yeah, that was surprising.
That's
a really good point.
Crazy.
It was odd that it was shown last year after what we knew about the studio and what was going on inside of the walls. So it was like, okay, that's interesting. I mean, you could go down the list, Tim. Where's Contraband? We talked about that partnership with Avalanche. State of Decay is one of those, of course. You look at, Perfect Dark. Why do we keep showing Perfect Dark? Why did we show gameplay last year if we're not going to be getting into it?
Yeah.
And it feels like Blessing saying, we've shown you these. We're loading them up for a big 2026, 2027. Are we holding things back for a Gamescom or a Game Awards? And then, of course, we know they kick off the year with ID at Xbox, the developer underscore direct. There's like, they already have a lot of announcement moments here, and it feels like now we're kind of spreading them out, and maybe that's where we see some more. I think we'll see Fable at the Game Awards. I think we'll see something big for Fable at the Game Awards.
I mean, Crow in chat says, where's OD? That's another one.
It's interesting that he doesn't bring that up at all. Kojima. Yeah. He has been on stage. He has talked now, and it's like, oh, we're talking about this. We're talking about the next cool Metal Gear S game, but we're not speaking about OD. It's an odd one.
It's not time, man. I'm telling you, it's Death Stranding 2 marketing, and the Fizzin announcement, that's a separate thing. That's announcing a many years down the line, ending a state of play. Like, we'll get OD.
That's the
I think OD is going to be a very small project that there's just going to drop. I imagine that maybe I'm wrong about this, but I see that as like a 10-hour thing at max.
Wow.
But
yeah, I agree with post Death Stranding 2. I think that's when you start to actually talk about it more.
A couple super chats that I wanted to get to here. The House Has Spoken says, could have been a 9 out of 10 show, but the ending with Call of Duty is total whiff for me. 8 out of 10. Bobby Joe says, where's Fable? I feel like we didn't expect Fable to be here. The vibe of this office, at least. Like, I think that it not being here, not a surprise to me, because I do feel like that's a later down the line thing. Matt Sanders says, I'm so sad we didn't get to see Silk Song. I just want the constant demand to end. It's...
we saw
yeah, we did. It's just like, it's that weird thing.
It's coming out the same day as the Xbox Ally X. Right?
Well,
okay, what was that phrasing? Yeah, let's talk about that.
That
will be playable day one when it releases on the Xbox ROG Ally is how I took that.
Later this year.
Because I took it as it was going to be a launch
I know.
title.
It was a very weird... another one of those, like Tim said, it's like, you're not making this very clear. We got to rewrite this and figure this out. Because, you walk away going, okay, well, she said day one. She meant day one when the game releases, it will be on that.
We got to get the people who are on like the writing team for the like Outer World showcase.
Out of words.
We got to get the people who write that to like write the base Xbox
Should we
showcase.
go back and listen to her wording?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll find it'll take
Because
me a
the
bit,
writing for the Outer Worlds showcase, so phenomenal.
It's phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
And that was a note that I wrote down, is that whoever the team is on these, like the post Xbox Directs, they're 3 for 3 of each one's been a banger, showing us the team, getting to know their personality, all of them at a different style, but all 3 have done something that I'm so incredibly impressed by, which is getting these devs to look like professional actors speaking. They are so good about talking about the games, and the way it's shot, and like every take and read that they have is like perfect. We do teleprompter stuff all the time. We don't sound that good. I don't know how they get this from people. It's awesome.
Diverse lineup of games from the biggest franchises to critically acclaimed indie hits. This is the freedom we believe players should have. Any game, anywhere. And we are giving it our all every day to make this vision real. But it all comes back to the games. From Dead to Rights on the original Xbox to Armored Core 6.
I might have gone too far. Hold on.
Look
Sorry.
how big Silk Song is on the left. Look how
so
big
big.
Hornet is, man.
From Xbox and Battle.net to Steam, GOG, and Ubisoft Connect. And the highly anticipated Hollow Knight Silksong will be available at launch and in Game Pass when the Ally releases later this year.
Wait,
That's
launch.
a crazy statement.
at launch of the hardware or at launch of the game? It'll be available.
It'll be
on
at
X.
launch when the hardware releases this year.
See, that's what I took it as.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way you can misinterpret that.
Yeah.
That is saying that this year you can
Yes.
play Hollow Knight on this thing when it launches.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm listening to it one more time. Hold
Yeah,
on.
give it one more.
And the highly anticipated Hollow Knight Silksong will be available at launch and in Game Pass when the Ally releases later this year.
Yeah.
In
When
fact,
the Ally
I mean, she says
releases,
when the Ally.
yeah.
It should be when
That's
the
it.
game releases. It will be on all that. But I mean, yeah. Now we're expecting 2025 this holiday.
That's it.
In the next 12 months.
Define this year.
Jay Plays Casual says was a good showcase, not great. Ending with Black Ops 7 was kind of meh. Would have been nice to see a gameplay reveal of Elder Scrolls 6 instead. Yeah.
Also, Greg gave his score in the chat an 8.5. He said it was great. A lot of stuff he really fucked with in this show.
Hell yeah.
Dude, At Fate's End is the one that I'm just
Oh
like,
my gosh.
goodness.
We're going to break down every single thing that we saw in the showcase right after a quick word from our sponsors.
My foot's asleep.
This episode's brought to you by Xreal. Y'all know that a few months ago, my life changed forever when I brought a pair of Xreal One AR glasses on a long flight to New York. I legit could not believe how easy it is to use and high quality my experience was playing games, watching movies, TV shows on the plane without just too much extra stuff around me, or especially not a giant goofy headset around my head. No joke, this is my favorite new tech product in years, and it has earned a permanent spot in my travel bag. It is only hard to believe that it works as well as I'm saying until you try Xreal One AR glasses for yourself. And then you will see that the future is now. The tech is here. Connect Xreal One glasses to wherever you are playing, whether it's a handheld console, a PC, phone, home console. You just get a massive 150-inch virtual screen anywhere, anytime, for any game. Gaming on the go like a long-haul flight, you need the Xreal One. Neck starting to hurt from staring down at your handheld? We've all been there. You need an Xreal One. A screen as big as your wall. Instant plug and play with all of your devices via USB-C. Built-in audio with sound by Bose, anchoring your screen anywhere in space. It's awesome. It just works. Zero latency at 1080p full HD. These are what make Xreal One a must-have. And we hear Xreal One Pro is coming soon with an even bigger virtual screen. Hit our link below to get your Xreal glasses today. There's nothing better than when a sponsor of Kinda Funny is something that we are legitimately obsessed with, and that is exactly the case here with Xreal. You're gonna hear me talking about these forever. Go to kindafunny.com/Xreal. That's kindafunny.com/XREAL. I promise you, you are going to love these things. This episode's brought to you by Factor. Summer Game Fest is here. The Switch 2 is here. The sun is here. So many summer things are here. And the number one thing you don't want to be doing all summer, spending hours cooking inside. That's where Factor comes in. Factor's chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals are ready in just 2 minutes, taking the hassle out of eating well. We love Factor here at Kinda Funny, and Greg's often making and enjoying meals quick in between shows here in the studio. I just had a roasted garlic chicken, and I'm telling you, you would have loved it. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any active lifestyle over summer and beyond. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your summer gains and goals. Choose from options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Get started at factormeals.com/kindafunny50 off and use code kindafunny50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's kindafunny50 off at factormeals.com/kindafunny50 off for 50% off plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/kindafunny50 off. Kicking off the show with Outer Worlds 2 coming October 29th. Obviously, we had the whole direct as well, but we can kind of just talk about Outer Worlds 2 as a whole here. Bless, what'd this do for you?
I mean, we're including the direct showing?
Yeah.
I mean, it did a lot for me, but it did a lot for me in the way that already I was sold on this game. Even during the direct, I was like, I mean, I don't even want to watch this because I just want to go into the game having all this stuff fresh. But I think the thing that stuck out to me was how much they talked about the flaws system, where the more you do something, the game will give you a choice as to if you want this as a flaw or not. I forget one of the examples they gave.
Bad
Bad
knees.
knees was the
You got
one that
bad
was
knees.
hilarious.
Staring in the sun.
Yeah, so like if you say yes to having bad knees, you can crouch and move faster. But then when you uncrouch, you make like a cracking noise in your knees that will alert enemies. And then yeah, staring at a sun is another one that like kind of messes with the vision of how everything looks. I love that shit. I think that shit's awesome. And during the showcase, I looked at Andy. I was like, these sound like roguelite upgrades in the ways that they're like quirky and weird and fun, but within a big action RPG, which is super cool, right? Game looks fantastic. I love how much they talk about like factions and what they're doing with the world to kind of move it forward and stuff. For me, this is kind of, I think, what I want out of a post Starfield Bethesda. You know, like I think one of my things when I look back at Starfield and what I would have wanted more out of that game was like less scope, more focus in on story and moment to moment gameplay and all this stuff. And I'm looking at Outer Worlds 2 and I'm like, this feels so like full and rich of just fun shit and like fun energy and good humor and writing. And yeah, like I'm so stoked on this game.
Mike.
Tim, I'm still on the fence on this game. I know that Outer Worlds 2, I got a good feeling that it's going to be good. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm just in my world of a lot of video games. It's not high on the priorities list. I fell off Outer Worlds 1. Outer Worlds 2, I haven't been super excited about. Hearing Andy and Greg and Stella on the re-review, it's like, okay, yeah, this is going to be a good time, but still, right now, this is not on my gotta play for the year.
Andy.
Super pumped, man. I mean, just like Blessing, I've already been sold on it, knowing after replaying Outer Worlds 1 and realizing, you know, how much I enjoy the writing style and how much I enjoy the characters and interactions, and then coupling that with the awesome combat and traversal from Avowed, I just, you know, this is super high on the anticipation list. Yeah, I'm really pumped about it. Looks great.
Yeah.
And it looks again, I know 2019 was a long time ago, and that's when Outer Worlds 1 came out, but it was always kind of an unattractive game.
Yeah.
Even when I was enjoying it back then, it was never really pretty in a lot of moments. And newer engine, newer tech, finally the game looks awesome, and I'm just kind of excited to see what sort of weird decisions can be made, because Outer Worlds 1 really surprised me with a lot of character decision moments that were like, oh shit, this is possible. I really like that. And I was always bummed out by the people I couldn't shoot and kill, similar to in Baldur's Gate 3, where you're like, oh, you could just kill that dude. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really bummed out in Starfield when I was, you know, the controls were pulled away from me at any moment, where it's like, I'm shooting this bad guy's head and the bullets are going through his head and he's just sitting there because he's got to be alive for the end of it. I totally understand why, but I love the player freedom in Outer Worlds.
Yeah, the fucking gun that shrinks people is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then yeah, them adding those little tweaks and upgrades as far as like being able to mantle, and did they say slide? You can like
Yeah, a
run
little
and slide
double
now.
jump as well.
A double jump, right?
Third
Like,
person, really neat.
yeah, adding third person. Like these are all the things that I think the fans of Outer Worlds 1 would have wanted out of an upgrade for this game. And so yeah, I'm so excited for it. I think the one thing it's been a minute since I played Outer Worlds 1, and I remember there being like characters that I attached myself to. Like they had the dude that was kind of like Rick from Rick and Morty. That was like one of the main.
Yeah, he's the main dude.
Yeah, one of the main dudes, right?
Not a
And, like,
companion, but he's like
Yeah, and like I feel like I'm not seeing that yet out of this. So like I'm excited to see outside of the companions that they showed off, right? Like, is there going to be a central cast or like a central character, I should say, that's like, oh, this is the guy. Like this is either the antagonist or this is like the, you know, one of the main people that are going to stick with you, or are they relying on the companions to do that for you once you get further into the game? I'm excited to see.
And then we had High on Life 2 coming winter. Kind of a major surprise.
Yeah, did not expect to see another High on Life game, especially coming off of what went down with Justin Roiland like a month after the last one came out. If you remember, Justin Roiland, I believe, and you can double check me on this, left the studio when all that stuff came out, right? And like, I would have thought that you do whatever your follow-up project is, it's something to sepeRate from that, since Justin voiced did he voice the gun?
He made like he
Like the
voiced
blue
the
guy?
main little gun.
The main little gun.
Because there's three of them, and one of them was JB Smoove.
Yeah,
Yes.
which I think JB Smoove, we saw him in this trailer. But yeah, to return to this world, like I'm somebody who I liked High on Life. Like wasn't like the best first person shooter, but it was a fun time, right? I like this humor. I like this world. I like something goofy. I like the improv style comedy that they got going on where you can tell that they're just in the booth riffing off of whatever, right? And so I'm down for it, but it is a weird one. I would not have expected this game.
Yeah, my biggest takeaway from this is it's a surprise the game's getting a sequel. But at the same time, thinking it through, it's like, well, this was like a big Game Pass push game. And I feel like maybe that kind of like gave them the numbers that they're like, yo, it's worth doing something here. But this type of trailer just kind of rubs me the wrong way, where it's like a CG trailer that's made to look like the gameplay. Like, I don't know. It reminds me a lot of like 2006 Sony, where it's like Killzone stuff, where I'm like, what are we doing? Like, we should have moved past that at a certain point.
Yeah, and especially because High on Life was like it's a good enough looking game.
Yeah.
I just wonder, maybe there wasn't a whole lot to show. I don't know. It's very, very bizarre.
Then we had Resonance, A Plague Tale Legacy coming everywhere 2026.
Yeah, kind of weird. Wasn't expecting that, and it didn't look like really anything out of A Plague Tale. I didn't get to part 2, but I beat part 1, and seeing this large ass mythological kind of weird creature at the end was kind of surprising, but I mean, really cool for the studio. I'm already blanking on the name of is it? No.
Asobi.
Asobo, yeah. Because I was thinking like Team Asobi, but different. Yeah, really shocking. Them going for this sort of more third-person action-focused video game. Had a lot of Tomb Raider vibes as well, Mike.
Tomb Raider, Rome's.
Yeah, Rise, Son of Rome.
Yeah,
This one was all over the place.
yeah.
It's like, this trailer. Now, this is where I come in of like, the beginning didn't hit for me here on this showcase of like, Outer Worlds 2, I know we're excited for, and I think they did a good job on the deep dive, but it just didn't hit with maybe the music, the sound, whatever they showed, and then into High on Life, Resonance, A Plague Tale, like, the first 3 were not solid. Let's get excited. Let's get up for a nice afternoon. And then we went into the handheld and more. But like, yeah, this one didn't speak to me at all. It didn't have the Plague's Tale vibe like the last one did. I think when you saw the sequel, you knew what you were getting into. The beauty that we saw in it. It was like, this one just didn't have.
Where are the rats? Yeah.
Where are the rats?
It kind of reminds me of seeing the game from yesterday or 2 days ago, Blessing, where we were like, oh shit, they made a part 2, and then they made a shared world shooter, MMORPG shooter of
Atomic Heart.
Atomic Heart.
Atomic Universe.
In the Atomic Universe, yeah, the Plague Tale universe. It's like,
Like, not everything needs a universe.
I don't know.
What was the other game that got like books and a comic and 7 TV shows?
Unknown 9 or Unknown. Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
They're
that.
making a whole universe.
Oh, yeah,
out of
yeah.
I thought you were
it.
talking about
Let's say we're gonna
Defiance.
try.
yeah.
I still think it's funny that this game either leaked or was teased on Threads and nobody noticed for like 2 or 3 days.
This is gonna be a Game of the Year contender, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
This is gonna
Totally
be one
could
that
be.
shows up at the Game Awards, and we're like, oh, really?
On
Yeah,
Threads,
and none
you
of
can
us
find
will
the
play
Silk
it.
Song release date.
Then yeah, speaking of Silk Song, the Xbox Ally.
Ali.
Outer Worlds?
You know what, guys? It's a Sunday. We're having a good time here. The Xbox Ally officially actually revealed. It has 2 SKUs, and Hollow Knight was being shown on it. And like we talked about, it seems like it's going to be playable whenever this thing launches or whenever it launches, somewhere in between there. Cool stuff. Talking about the OS. I'm excited to go home and watch deeper dives on this from people that got their hands on it already.
100%.
Very, very excited for this one. I know when it first started leaking, everyone was talking shit about the handles. I love this. This is what I want one of these things to be. But I want more info. No date, no price, no any of that stuff. Maybe that'll be coming soon. But overall, very excited for this.
I love me some Asus. I've been buying Asus shit since I worked at Best Buy, like back when they were like on the come up. I was like, you all need to know about Asus. I love their shit. I wish it wasn't so Asus branded. I wish it was more of the Xbox fonts with the Xbox buttons in the same way that the PlayStation Portal looks like a Sony device. I don't love like the shapes of the buttons or the super sci-fi looking font on the back paddle or on the bumpers and the triggers and even the front faces. I wish it was. I get it. Asus, you're putting your name out there. It's our device still, but I don't know if I need like the ROG in the front with it looking so much like an Asus device. I wish it was a bit more Xbox coded.
I wonder if that's like more on the Xbox strategy of how they're doing this, because like, correct me if I'm wrong, we're gonna see more of these from other hardware manufacturers or other handheld manufacturers. Wasn't there like one other one that we thought was going to happen later this year?
Well, I mean, not later this year, but there was the rumor
The Lenovo
that they
with
were
Steam Deck?
working on the Xbox thing, but it sounds like they're backing off
Gotcha.
of that.
For a
And
second,
now
yeah.
the way they're talking about this, it sounds like this is their like official partnership.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
See,
also with the Xbox OS, I do think that will end up on other devices
and that's
as
what I
well.
thought. I
Yeah.
thought like in the rumors, and I probably got this wrong, right? I thought there was like one other hardware company that was working on their own thing, right? But yeah, like I would have, to Andy's point, I would have loved if this is the one, like go all in on Asus being the, all right, this is the official Xbox handheld, as
Yeah.
opposed to trying to like have your cake and eat it too.
I mean, I think they are. I just also think that there's going to be, this is the Xbox Ally. The leaks of this also had the just ROG Ally 2. So I think that they look identical.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the Ally branding. Then we had the Blood of Dawnwalker 2026 everywhere.
Game looks great. This is the Witcher devs or former CD Projekt Red devs, and it's a really fascinating game in that it's going to take place over a 30-day span. So there will be missions and things to do that are time sensitive, and it really seems like they're doing like a Majora's Mask type deal. Like I think you will be able to manipulate time in some ways, but it seems fascinating. The first trailer was a lot cooler than this, though. I'll say. The first reveal trailer was a bit more stunning, but it is kind of cool to see some enemy variety and exactly what you'll be taking on. But if y'all haven't seen the first debut trailer, go check that shit out on YouTube. It was really, really awesome.
Yeah, this one was kind of hard to watch coming off of a week of a lot of Witcher stuff, right? And so just didn't hit the way I wanted it to. And it makes it sound cool, but didn't see much of that coming out of this one. And this one, for me, still on the slow opening and just kind of heard of like, man, we're still here, and I'm looking for something to wow me right now.
Well, then I was wowed with Super
Yeah.
Meat Boy 3D 2026 coming everywhere. Looks awesome. Looks
Amazing.
like it's Super Meat Boy, but the Mario 3D world's kind of a gameplay. I love the homage to the beginning of Mario 64 here.
And it's not Team Meat. They
I
said
didn't
that,
notice that.
Yeah, they during the description of it, we all kind of had a wait. Who's working on this? And I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, it was
but
like Plush
Yeah, Phil
Belly or
spoke
something.
about it. Yeah, something different.
Yeah,
But
it
it looks
doesn't
awesome.
say
cool,
at
though.
the end
Yeah,
of the
it looks
trailer.
really fun.
Yeah, this is something we've been overdue for a long time. Like, I love this style of video game, and I think especially in this dimension, it looks like a really fun kind of even Astrobot-esque type of video game. Seeing the levels of platform you're going to be getting into.
I do love how much the gameplay looks authentically Super Meat Boy, right? Like when we compare it to Mario 3 World, right? Like it's not like what was the Little Big Planet, Sackboy's Big Adventure,
Oh,
where it's
right.
straight up 3D World. This looks inspired by 3D World, but when I look at the gameplay, I'm like, this looks fucking tough. This looks
Yeah.
fast paced. This looks insane. This is Super Meat Boy.
Yeah, and like especially like keeping like I assume this is you looking at all of your runs again and stuff like that. Like all of those little things. It's just like, yeah, they got it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I thought it was multiplayer at first, because I only somehow saw 3 or 4 of those little guys, and then I saw 8 now, and I'm like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Not multiplayer.
Rad stuff. Then Ninja Gaiden 4, October 21st. October's busy. It's going to be a busy month.
Yeah, man.
It's
Looks
gonna be an
great.
awesome game, but I enjoyed this less than
Me too.
Last
Sorry,
one.
really quick. We don't get too far away from Super Meat Boy. In the far or bottom right, we have Sluggerfly head
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Team Meat is on there, so I assume they're helping out with this in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it was the
interesting.
Sluggerfly. That's the one where we were like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, damn. I thought it would only just be a
Team Meat.
Team Meat sort of project.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I'm right there with you, though, Andy. Like, this looks awesome. It's Ninja Gaiden 4, but, like, something about this trailer didn't have the same oomph that the first one did, and it's not just the surprise of the
Yeah.
announcement. Like, it's all right, like, cool, but also, I'm super happy with it. Like, this looks exactly like I want a Ninja Gaiden 4 to look. Like, I said this while we were reacting, but, like, I just love video games, and this looks like that.
So
Yeah.
unapologetically
sounds like
that.
it, too, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had Indy, The Order of the Giants, coming September 24th, or September 4th, sorry.
Got
You
nothing.
ended up getting into Indy, right?
Yeah, I liked Indie. Never beat Indy. Bear, did you
Oh,
beat it?
yeah. It was on my top 10 last year.
Yeah.
Indy was fucking great. I think once you give into more of what that game is and not the expectation of it being
like a machine games.
like a machine games or something inspired by like Uncharted. Yeah, like once you get into the nooks and crannies there, I think Indy is fantastic. And that last like hour or two, like really reminded me of like, oh fuck it, like I do really love these movies and how they play with a lot of like history and like religious like mythology and all this stuff. It's really fucking good. So and I'm really into those systems. Like Blessing and I really do like the kind of immersive sim type of stuff. So I'm down to get back into that. And like Andy said, it's insane of like how much Troy Baker sounds like him. It's like I forgot how good he is in that role until we heard him in the trailer. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. It's a bit farther away than I expected. I feel like September is like a little like I would have kind of expected this kind of summer, especially with it just coming out to PS5 and stuff. But I'm just a little worried for that, just in terms of time, like Mike has been saying. Just like there's a lot of gaming right now. So.
Then we had Beast of Reincarnation. This has come from Game Freak. What?
That's fucking awesome.
What the actual fuck? Like, it's in collaboration with some other teams I saw there, but like, this looks really, really cool and kind of unbelievable.
I just don't understand Game Freak as a studio and like what they're like. What's their deal?
What is their deal?
What is your deal? Is this like your vacation from Pokemon?
Yeah,
like,
what are we doing?
Yeah, because it happens once every few years. It feels like once every 4 years we get like a Game Freak game that's not a Pokemon thing, and it's like, oh, all right, here's Little Town Hero that's now just called Town. All right, here's Beast of Reincarnation, and it looks AAA, and because it's on Xbox, it actually looks great. Like it has fidelity to it.
This is them just proving the haters wrong. Like
they saw the reviews of Scarlet and
quit
Violet.
coming at us, dude. We have 12 months. We have like 8 months to make a Pokemon game.
Yeah, this is them saying fuck y'all. Like this is what we can do.
Looks fantastic, man. There's something about the visual style looks even. I know when Black Myth Wukong was coming out and how visually stunning that game looked. This game is like at that level. I would say it's where it's one of the better looking one of these, in terms of one of these being like an action Souls-like, whatever you want to call it.
You see those parries earlier in the trailer?
The combat looks fantastic, and I love sort of this weird implementation of sort of sci-fi elements with this weird mech dude. But yeah, I think the game looks really damn good.
A lot of striking visuals in this that look very interesting. Of oh, this is a game that I want to play. So
yeah,
good for them. I'm stoked on this one.
If it wasn't for the Game Freak, this would fall into the category of another Soulsborne, Samurai. We got to get a supercut of this week of all of these games. There's going to be like 8 to 9 of these. Of like, you could put all these together in a blender and it's like, yeah, that's the same. But the positive is it's like, they might not be for you or you're interested. The good ones shine, right?
Yeah,
when there's a good one, it shines. But when you watch those, you're like, I've already seen 10 of these this week. You don't stand out besides the name Game Freak.
See, take Game Freak out of it. Game Freak definitely for me is the thing that's like, what? I'm more interested. But this, I put more on the Devil May Cry side of things, which speaks to me a lot louder. And also, I'm getting a lot of Kana vibes. I'm getting a lot of that, like more, there's some artsy, like we're trying to fucking say something here type stuff.
There's also just a way you present a trailer. And I think this is the best way this is the best version of one of these I've seen in a while. Like a lot of these games with a lot of these smaller studios that are making these, they're going after the From Software sort of golden goose. And when we saw, a game that's very similar like that is a game that has a demo out right now, which is Morbid Metal, the one that Ubisoft is publishing. And that game looks amazing. But because it's just, I don't know if there's like a certain science to it. There's no real way that I can give you the explanation, but there are some Souls-likes that should be really awesome and I should be super pumped up about. But the way that they're being shown off, not necessarily. This one, for whatever reason, like, and it's not even the Game Freak. It's not like I'm expecting, oh shit, Game Freak, they're known for games like these. No, it's not that. This isn't if you took the Mario name off of it, you wouldn't give a shit about Mario. Like, I don't give a shit that Game Freak is making a game like this. I give a shit that the game looks awesome. And I think visually it stands out way more than the other ones.
Having said that, I will be utterly shocked if this game's better than a 6 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think that they have the stuff. We'll see.
Bear, run that trailer back.
It looks great. It looks great. We'll see.
Because I can tell in a lot of games like this where it's like, oh, it's a person standing there. The art direction looks fantastic. This looks great. And then you see it in action. You go, the animations aren't quite there. This doesn't I think this looks insane.
I think it'll be better than what we expect it to be, but I think it won't run great.
We'll see.
I don't know, man.
I
totally understand as far as I think what I'm seeing in the trailer. I don't know if I don't think I'm gonna get. I guess I look at this trailer and I'm blown away. I'm like, man, this looks like a fucking fantastic game. But I don't think this game's gonna come out and it's gonna be a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. But I do expect an 8 out of 10. I expect like a good.
Awesome.
I look at that and I'm like, there's an art direction here that's good. There's like the gameplay being presented looks fun. Like it looks like they're doing something here that feels fresh and fun. I'm about it.
Me too.
Hopeful. Then we got In Exile's Clockwork Revolution meaty ass trailer coming in due time. So much good stuff here.
Yeah, dude.
This is one that went on so long that I ended up loving it again. Because around the middle, I'm like, all right, we've been here for quite some time. And then they start introducing the time element.
Yeah.
And the way that little, Eye of Agamotto fucking time stone works. Yeah. How cool that looks and how creative you can be with it. Super awesome.
Yeah, by the midway point, they had shown so much, so you were like, all right, well then show me how the game works. And like, show the game in motion. Let's get this going. And they were like, oh, well, we got that. And there was just so much good here. It's exciting to see In Exile and what they're going to build with this world. I can't wait. You brought up BioShock, Andy, right? Like, I just replayed BioShock Remastered, and it's like, I want more of that. I can't wait to see that. So this looks right up that alley, and what a killer. This was probably the trailer of their show. This really showcased well.
I agree with that, right? This to me feels like a mixture of multiple games that I love, right? Whether you want to say BioShock Infinite or Dishonored or Outer Worlds, right? Like, it feels like a melding of all those things with still some originality left to shove in there as far as what they're doing with time and stuff. And for me, like, when we got to that part of the trailer, I was super in. But I think the thing that got me in even earlier than that was seeing the dialogue stuff and the ways that the characters have in the back and forth, the choice of the NPC character being like, yo, don't talk to him, talk to me, and then the dialogue options come up and you can still talk to the dude that's behind him, and that resulting in the dude in front killing the dude in back and like leaving some of his brains on the fucking thing and being like, oh, brains, that's surprising. What the fuck? Like, that's a cool scene. Yeah. That's fun. Like, I love that kind of shit. This game is doing a lot more than I expected it to be doing when we saw it last year. When we saw it last year, like, the trailer was fucking dope, but a lot of that was stylistic and getting to like, see what this world looked like. Jumping into this trailer and seeing, all the upgrade shit that we're doing, the gun customization, the time stuff, this scene that I just talked about, I cannot wait for this. This seems insane.
Yeah. Only downside, I think we have to address it, is that not having a date with a trailer that meaty, deflating.
How do you come back from this? I mean, thankfully, we'll forget about it in 6 to 7 months, and it'll come back next summer, and we'll go, oh my God, it's back, and this is awesome.
Yeah, what is the next trailer that we see for this?
Like
next
what's
summer.
left?
Like, what's left to show off in
the
this
date?
game?
That's all. It will just be the dates, and we'll be ready.
Yeah, I think it's probably something like that. I
think it could be their next spring direct.
Oh, developer.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing next is like, you're making a direct, right? It's the post direct, but we kind of know next year probably not getting
developer
that time
direct
slot.
is what I'm talking about.
Developer direct, but like, that's the only way you can come back from this.
Or
it's
Game
either show,
Awards.
just give us a game. Let's go.
Game Awards, the January direct, and you say this game is out in February or something.
Yeah.
I think the reason why I'm so pumped up about this game is the same reason why I'm excited for 007 First Light, where it's like, I haven't had an Uncharted experience in a while. I haven't had a BioShock sort of first-person shooter like that in a while, and this is doing a lot more than that, right? With all of these different townspeople and choices being made, and the weapon customization looks really awesome. I'm excited to see how deep that mechanic goes, where you're finding these different parts and kind of fitting out the weapon how you want it to be. But I love the creativity with the time manipulation. I think it looks really great.
Zaysik in chat says February versus RE9. There's gonna be a big problem when we get to putting release dates onto things, because I'll prefer versus RE9 than versus GTA 6. Like, those are the choices that these companies are going to have to start making as far as when these games are coming out. And you're going to end up in a situation next year where every single month there's going to be a fucking banger-ass video game.
I also, for someone like me who isn't, I know I'm in the minority where I'm like, I'm not a Resident Evil fan. I don't know if, I think those are different fan
audiences.
Bases. Yeah, I don't know if I wouldn't put that on the level as like, oh, you're putting that out then? That's kind of a crazy move. I don't think they really worry about that, our audience is going to be playing Resident Evil 9. A different audience, different experience, I would say.
And then we got Grounded 2 coming July 29th to game preview. There's Buggies as the mounts. What a great name.
This
Buggies.
is my Obsidian game right here. I know we had Avowed earlier in the year. We have Outer Worlds 2 that people are excited about, but this is my Obsidian game, right? That sandbox, fun survival crafting game. They've done a great job pushing the narrative and really moving you throughout the backyard. And the idea of, wow, Grounded is coming back. A team of like 13 people made this. We cheered them on of like, wow, they made Pentiment, they made Grounded. They're pushing these smaller love story games that like, they're like, oh, this shouldn't be a thing, but they're making it. The idea that they're making a Grounded 2 is special and awesome. There's a big audience for this. The idea of going out to the park now and really expanding upon that and hearing the team taking in all the feedback from Grounded 1 and what they're going to do with game preview again. Of course, it's going to grow with you. It will evolve, but the idea of kind of front-loading more of the narrative at the beginning is big because they know we dive right into that. We want more. The moment we finish, people will either fall off or they'll be diehards and they'll stay in it. So having more of the narrative at the beginning, I think, is a big win. The idea of being able to ride certain, pests out in the park is going to be a big deal. Having kind of class-specific builds is very cool. Instead of just the generic, you'll be able to put points on, build out your cool assassin or your sorcerer. I think that's an awesome idea. And so, yeah, Grounded 2, congratulations, Obsidian. This is crazy. And the Grounded team, this is so fun.
I think it makes a lot of sense, too, right? It's a game that had a lot of success, and you have a lot of assets to still play with. You have a lot of bug assets and grass, and you have all the things to kind of make another game like this with, of course, you're going to make your own bespoke assets and things like that, but you have stuff to make a sequel with, and it already had success, so yeah, keep on doing it.
So we're 11 games into this, and this is the first one that is not coming to PlayStation 5, and I think that has to do with the game preview, right? So you got to imagine when this does hit 1.0, then it will go more multi-platform. But I also want to point out, no Switch logo so far. And even throughout the entirety of this whole showcase, there was a Switch 1 logo for Planet of Lana 2, and then Tony Hawk had the Switch 1 and 2 logos. But otherwise, no Switch at all, which goes back to me being a little... sad about the state of where the dev kit seemed to have went out. Then we had Bloober Team's Chronos, the new Dawn, fall 2025.
Hell yeah.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bloober Team. We've followed this team from the medium and onward, right? It's like they built up some momentum that I'm on their side. I'm excited. I love a Dead Space type vibe. And yeah, this has got some really scary looking, good tone to it that I can't wait to try this.
It's like the third time we've seen this, and I really hope that this could be another big sort of surprise from Bloober Team. I know the medium kind of bums a lot of people out with how, just the game itself, except for Greg Miller, of course. And then people having their doubts at Silent Hill 2 and that game coming out and really kind of shocking everybody and going, oh shit, they nailed it, exactly what they're going for. I love a team expanding upon what they are known for and kind of, man, we've always wanted to make this style of game. What if we can do it? It's got to be super exciting for the team to be working on something that's still very scary because that's usually where they lean towards. But now doing this third-person, survival horror shooter looks really damn cool.
Yeah, this one looks very cool. Then we had Elder Scrolls Online, June 18th for whatever it was they showed, Mike.
So the update for you, of course,
a little cat.
Cult of the Worm is coming out, so you'll have that at the beginning of June. I kind of have your end of Xbox 2025 we'll wrap up with, and then we'll talk about when we get past all this, but that's June 2nd and June 18th on console. If you're an ESO fan, you'll be excited. If you want to jump into ESO, this will be one of the larger milestones of things going on. It's a very cool new area with a giant wall dividing the area up into two sections. So you'll be on one section, then eventually you'll get past the wall. We'll learn more. But me and Greg had a really great deep dive with them on a Gamescast where we went through Elder Scrolls from the beginning to now, and I highly recommend y'all to check that out. But if you're an ESO player, you'll be excited. If you like MMOs, ESO is probably one of the most welcoming MMOs you could ever jump into. So nothing but cool things to look forward to and say about that one.
It kind of reminds me of how welcoming like the Fallout 76 fan base is.
Yeah.
When newcomers want to join the game and there's so many people out there willing to help and Sherpa you through experiences.
Next we had Don't Nod's A Philion in collab with the European Space Agency. This one looks kind of neat.
I fuck with it.
Blessing got a really good call out of Jusant. You saw a lot of that kind of like climbing aspects into this one. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, but then somebody in chat mentioned that this is made by the Banishers team, and I don't know if that was like a confirmed thing or if that's just them guessing as well. But I like the direction that Donut's taking as far as trying to figure out how to diversify their portfolio. A while ago, they put out it was either a press release or something like an update. Maybe it was like a financial call talking about their 3 pillars, and I can't remember exactly what those pillars were. I think it was like RPG, narrative, and then I think like a third weird pillar.
Climb mountain.
Climb mountain. But like I like that they're trying to figure out like these different kinds of games to make. And Banishers came out, and I don't know many people that fucked with Banishers, but I know a lot of people that fucked with Jusant. And so
Zach Johnson, who's the one that said that it was Banishers, says it was a guess, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Dude, Banishers like could be one of my favorite games if it was the game that was the behind the back third person sort of looking God of War game with a lot of parrying and Souls-like stuff, mixed with some of the best writing and acting you'll experience in a video game, and I just didn't love the combat enough. Like the combat was like not good enough and frustrating enough to where I dropped it to easy just to get to story stuff. And then some people in chat were telling me like, oh yeah, like I just finished the game 62 hours in. I'm like, dude, this does not need to be that long of a game. And that's if you go the extra mile and try to do everything else. But like legitimately, if you have the means to and try out Banishers, it's some fantastic writing and amazing decision making. And I just loved the bones of it, but it's just like the combat was like, oh, this could be a 15-hour experience and would have blown me away.
And I'll say my beef with Banishers, and this isn't real beef, but like my beef, they fucking broke into my house, they stole my shit. My beef with it is that I think the trailers just didn't do a good job of making that game stand out, right? Like we're talking this year about all the Souls-likes, right? And like I feel like there's always the trends that come in and make the games that we see in trailers kind of, mold together. And Banishers was for me where I saw it and I'm like, cool, this game looks exactly like so many other games that I've seen. That's why I really like this game for Aphelion, or this trailer for Aphelion, where we look at this and this looks fresh. This looks different. This looks interesting. And so I think I would say this, if this is the Banishers team, or if this is a collab between the Banishers team and the Jusant team, because honestly, like it looks like it has stuff from both of those. I'm all about it. I think this is a great direction for what Donut should be doing.
Damn, shout out to Paul Jeremiah, first time subscriber using Prime.
Woo!
Thank you, Paul Jeremiah.
Thank you.
First timer.
You can be cool like Paul. Next up, we got There Are No Ghosts at the Grand. Interesting. This was a unique trailer. I'll say that. You know what I mean? It had us captivated the entire time. There Are No Ghosts at the Grand is a unique narrative-driven musical adventure set against a spooky British seaside town that's bursting with supernatural secrets. It's day one on Xbox Game Pass, Ultimate, and PC. This is another one that not coming to PS5.
This was a ride.
I still don't know what genre this is.
Yeah, first we thought it was Hotel Renovator, and then it built off of that of now you're going to renovate the whole city. Of course, you're going to have some fun mystery to it of your father or grandfather used to be the guy, and he was helping everybody out. And then all of a sudden you kind of see there's some clues. You open up a scary door passage, and there was a scary like ant monster spider-looking thing. So, yeah, we'll see. It gave me a We Happy Few kind of look from Compulsion Games. And I was like, okay, and I like hotel renovating. I like these sim games. But the musical game that Tim just read, I was like, okay, well, maybe that's not my game. I don't know. Yeah,
I really thought it was going to be, hey, every day we open up Steam and there's a new renovator / store simulator / pawn shop simulator game that's always in the top of the Steam charts. What if we did one of those with narrative kind of being first, and then it just turned into a bunch of other stuff, and I'm just still kind of fascinated by the blending of genres.
Yeah. Then Age of Mythology Reload coming fall 2025. Mike.
Hey, if you like RTS games, Age of Mythology's back with a whole lot more. I try to read up the small Xbox wire, but it seems like there's a lot coming to that one. Chris Senka tried to get me into Age of Mythology. I'm more of an Age of Empires guy, but it's always cool to see more updates from this.
Then we had Mudang Two Hearts. This is a Korean game, 2026, coming everywhere. It looks
this one
very special.
I what I really need is a press release for this game.
Yeah.
I need the description for exactly what it is they're going for and what they're trying to do, because we see
a lot of vibes.
Random gal doing like sneaking stuff.
Kind of like the Mary Jane missions in Spider-Man it gave me. I was like, ooh, people didn't like that.
And then we see crazy supernatural third person shooting with just weird, freaky Remedy-like vibes. And it looks awesome. It looks stunning.
So Aaron Garst at GameSpot writes about it and says, Ever Studio refers to Mudang Two Hearts as an immersive blend of tactical stealth, visceral combat, and cinematic storytelling set on a politically volatile Korean peninsula.
Get your politics out of my games.
The narrative follows the unification of North and South Korea as the treaty promises to end decades of division. Things aren't as they seem, though. A terrorist organization attacks the South Korean National Assembly on the day the bill was meant to pass, setting off a series of chaotic events across the peninsula. The plot follows the main characters of Ji Jong-tae, a North Korean soldier who comes to South Korea as part of a military exchange program, Gavi, a member of a K-pop group named Ordo, and a terrorist who is known as ID Ghost. That is ID:Ghost.
Sick.
Players will switch between...
That's cool.
Players switch between the perspectives of Ji Jong-tae and Gavi throughout the narrative. And that's pretty much it. Then they go into the studio itself.
I'm going to take a guess. All three of those characters will meet.
Oh, shit.
Crazy.
Whoa.
Oh, crazy.
Nuts.
What a wild call by me.
2026 is what they're saying here. Looks cool.
Looks awesome.
Keep your eyes on this one. Next up, we had Thunderful's Planet of Lana 2, Children of the Leaf. Cool, man. Shout out to Thunderful, continuing to do really, really cool special stuff in the indie scene, and getting sequels not always guaranteed. So that's a cool thing to see this.
What's the time to beat on Planet of Lana 1?
1 to 2 nights maximum.
Oh, I think it's hours.
Yeah. No. It's like 3 to 6 hours. It's not that long.
Oh, okay.
You'll get through it. Yeah. If you sit down one night, you'll probably whoop butt. If not, I think I beat it in 2, Bear, when you were pushing this on me. I got it.
Yeah, I'm still playing Vagrant Story.
I beat in like 2 or 3 sittings, I think, taking a small chunk at a time. There are some puzzle things, Andy, but they're like very, very light kind of thing.
Good for stupid people like me.
Yeah,
I still got to play that Despelote.
Dude, I'm
it's
like
only a 2-hour game.
Halfway through Despelote, which means I have like 30 minutes left to play. I refuse to beat it.
Anyways, this is awesome. I love that they're continuing the story with the characters that we knew from the first game and not just doing like, here's a story from somewhere else in the world or something like that. This is really cool. I'm excited to see them build off these characters and the lore that gets revealed slowly throughout the first game.
Barrett, I just added Planet of Lana to my backlog.
Good.
Add it on there. That's a good game. Play it.
Then we had Fallout 76, Gone Fishing.
Fun. I mean, it's interesting when we talk about Microsoft, Xbox, and the umbrella, how they have found these live service games and somehow got them into the fold, and they have just survived and thrived. And I think that's a big deal with Game Pass, a lot of tied IP that people know and love and want to get involved in, and they just continue to have updates. Like I said, I think they personally did a better job at pacing these all out away from each other, giving them their little quick moment and getting out. Fishing stayed too long, but also at the same time, they were showing, hey, settlements, you can build more stuff in your settlement with the fishing village. I think if you like this, you'll enjoy it for sure.
And then solo leveling Arise Overdrive coming to in 2026. This is another one that is no PS5. We need it. You know what I mean? Solo leveling, popular anime. Yep. It needs a game.
Huge. Yeah.
So this is it.
Who's making this? Do we know? Here, we can maybe pull up the.
Let's get to the end
damn!
here.
I meant to.
This isn't even the first solo leveling game in the last like 6 months. I feel like that's been talked about. At the bottom there, hold on, I'll full screen it for y'all.
Marble, is that what it is?
Sounds right.
Dobo.
Yeah, if you put a net in front of it.
Yeah.
Then we had Animo, another one without a PS5. This is that weird semi-Pokemon like what is this? Is this AI? Is it not? Who knows?
Kind of Pal World vibes as well. Yeah. Just make Viva Pinata. Somebody call him up. Get Viva Pinata out there.
This is nothing like Viva Pinata.
This shit is crazy, Bless.
This has nothing to do with
when
Viva
people
Pinata.
come to Xbox for a showcase, they think cute animals. They think bring us Viva Pinata, Phil.
That's like me being when they're showing the 007 game, being like, "Yo, where's Banjo-Kazooie? Give me Banjo.
Like, no,
Bring back Banjo.
no.
It's a colorful game.
Yeah, so much of this is just like it. So many of the visuals look too good to be real. At
It's that
times.
Doke AV feel, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, no.
And Infinity Nikki a
no,
little bit. Too.
Yeah. All
I
right.
fuck with it.
This will be like Pal World, where it comes out and they're like 25 million people played it at launch.
Yeah.
It's crazy right now.
Yeah.
And we're all going to be like, oh, shit, that's nuts.
Yeah, I don't know if it gives me that.
And then they'll
vibe.
be sued by somebody 6 months later.
This is gonna be a bold prediction. I think this comes and goes. I don't think we're
But
gonna.
you think it comes?
For like a day. For a day. That's a dangerous question to ask him.
Next up, we got little Tony Hawk. The man himself was there.
Little Tony Hawk. He's so small.
We got big Tony Hawk at the end
Yeah.
with the pinball level. But yeah, this is the launch trailer kind of giving us all the little things that people like me have been waiting for. We knew there was going to be 3 new levels. Now we know what they are. Water park, pinball, and Hollywood movie studio, which looks pretty freaking cool. This was the first time we saw a couple of the levels like London Zoo and Shipyard from 4. So obviously I'm very excited about that. But the big thing is Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles, which makes me think we might get the other Turtles
Radical.
as well. I love that he has his Mutant Mayhem art style. Hell yeah. Could
Yeah,
not be more hype for
The
this.
little drawn on sort of
Cell
knee
shading
pad
stuff,
cell
yeah.
shading. Yeah, it looks great.
Big
So
one for
sick.
me was the
SpongeBob
demo. Yeah, I'm excited for the
Yeah,
demo today.
Demo today. We
Can't
knew
wait.
demo was coming, but didn't know the date. Makes sense for it to be today.
What you
What's
got,
up, Barrett?
Do we think SpongeBob is another secret character just because they're teasing? Like the other trailer showed that like weird little area.
Gotta be.
Because like we're
better
doing
be,
more
dude.
Nickelodeon collabs with TMNT,
TMNT.
right?
I
So
don't think you do a SpongeBob level or
Easter
without
egg
having
reference, yeah.
the
Yeah.
sponge himself.
yeah.
You
Or
would hope.
Patrick.
You really would hope.
Dude, I would love Patrick.
He shreds.
Damn,
Then we had At Fate's End.
dude.
Oh man.
Legitimately, this might be my game of the show. Like amongst a lot of amazing looking games, to see. I'm so happy that the Spiritfarer team isn't only working on 33 Immortals, just because I am worried about that game and its viability. But to see a sort of side-scrolling looking game with this level and quality of animation, it looks so sick, man. This looks great.
Yeah. And mechanically, like, can we scroll forward? I want to see what's going on in the combat because there was like a weird card thing going on. It looked like there.
Mm-hmm.
I just the movement looks fantastic, but I think more importantly, a lot of the sort of look at
Yeah, like
that.
what is
dude.
that? Is that just you choosing abilities?
Looks great.
Yeah,
When
this
they
looks
zoom in on
fantastic.
these sort of not quite quick time events, but just when you mash up with somebody and they just like show that close animation like this looks so great,
Yeah.
dude. Choosing dialogue right there in that moment, awesome.
Yeah, that's the coolest part for me. Then we had Gears of War Reloaded coming August 26th. My friend Cythero's birthday.
Nice.
Wow,
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd see this. I thought we'd get E-Day. I think this is kind of known. It's interesting on an Xbox showcase. We're showing, hey, this is coming to other consoles. It's already been here. But I think it is the excitement of, hey, if you've never played Gears of War, if you want to get into Gears of War, now is the perfect time to, because we're going to put this out everywhere on PlayStation and beyond, and it's going to have a major fan base. People are going to be playing this. You need to get involved with Gears if you haven't already.
There has never been a better time.
And honestly, Gears of War is one of the best. Man, multiplayer in this was groundbreaking. It was so much fun. It changed the game. I can't wait to see a big player base on this one, all playing these
Hell
old
yeah.
school maps and going back. It was the best of
How many
times.
players can play the co-op campaign?
2 on this one.
Only 2? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped to see what accessibility settings there are here, because I mentioned in the last time we talked about this, the roadie run. Not like I'm sure at the time while you're watching, it's like having a shit ton of motion blur. The roadie run really hard to look at while you're doing your run, and the camera's shaking like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It hurts to watch.
Then we had Persona 4 Revival. No date on this one. Very little actual info shown. Barrett, what's this do for you?
We expected this from the whole voice actor debacle in the last week that people were theorizing might be like a marketing beat for this game, but now that we've gotten this reveal, it doesn't feel like that. Seeing is this Inaba?
Inaba.
Yeah, like seeing that like fully realized in the more like Persona 3 Reload, using I think Unreal Engine, like art style and all that stuff. It's like, holy shit, this is really cool. This looks really pretty. The fact we see so little in this trailer makes me feel like this is maybe late next year at the earliest, because last year when we got Persona 3, or 2 years ago when we got Persona 3 Reload announced, I think they said like early 2020 or early next year, right? The fact that we saw so little of this and with kind of no window here tells me this is a little bit farther out, and tells me that Persona 6 is even farther than that, which is I don't know. I have a mixed bag of feelings here.
Yeah, I'm with Barrett as far as the mixed bag of feelings. I'm regardless fucking excited for this because Persona 4 Golden, I would have said, if you asked me a year ago, I would have said was my favorite Persona, but Persona 5 has just kind of creeped up. Like as I've listened to the soundtrack more and more, I just thought about that game. But Persona 4 Golden is a fucking special-ass video game. But yeah, with how little we're seeing, it feels further out. And then also there was a post they made on, I believe this is from their website, where they say, hello, this is Wada from the Peace Studio. We are very pleased to announce the release of Persona 4 Revival. We look forward to sharing even more information in due time. Persona 4 has spawned numerous spin-off works, including TV anime, Persona 4 Arena, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, and Persona 4 Dancing All Night, and is a special title that has been a part of Atlas for many years and holds a personal place in my heart. We're currently working on this project with all our passion and love. We are confident that this will be a fresh and surprising product for both newcomers and longtime fans, and we look forward to sharing it with you all. Additionally, we are actively preparing for the future development of the Persona series as a studio. We're working hard to meet the expectations of fans around the world, and our work is progressing well. Please stay tuned for more updates. We look forward to your continued support of the Persona series. So they're still giving hope for, hey, there's going to be a future of Persona. But yeah, to Barrett's point, this makes it feel like it's pushed even further out, which on one hand saddens me a little bit, but on the other hand, like, I'm down to play Persona 4 Revival in the meantime. I think my one other thing with this too is, well, two other things. One, the voice actor debacle, now actually feeling like a debacle, is weird with how that all happened. But then also this being called Revival, I don't know how I feel about that title. Like, I don't know how that relates
Rewind
to
and rerun would have been much better. Revival feels
thematically, that doesn't feel appropriate unless they are doing the conspiracy theory thing that I think I talked about last week with the prediction of, oh, you're doing more to this game. Like, you're doing more than just porting the original story. Maybe you're going in and adding changes, because story could use some changes.
Yeah, the story could use some major changes. You know, there's also been the theory from Andrew Goldfarb for years that I love, that maybe Persona 6 is going to start including a lot of elements, story elements from Persona 3, 4, and 5, and maybe they add in stuff here to build up to that. That's a big hope, though, and we'll see if that actually happens. But yeah, Revival, don't love the title there.
Yeah.
Then we had Sea of Thieves, Smuggler's Tide, Season 17. We've got a big pop out, everybody.
Season 17. Keeping up with it. Another one, a live service game that is thriving. It is a lot of fun. Sea of Thieves is a really good time with your friends if you ever want to jump in. I am more of a Sea of Thieves when they have the big Pirate Life update where they had it with Disney and Pirates of the Caribbean, Monkey Island. Like, that's when it pulls me back in. But you always have a really good game here just sitting there ready for you to play. And now it's out on more consoles, more times to play.
And then Invincible Versus coming 2026, a tag team fighting game that looks awesome and sounds great. It's like, I'm very happy that Invincible is popular enough that it could be pulling off projects like this. I am a little concerned about it being a tag fighting game when we just had a brand new Marvel one from Arc System Works being announced. And also, just out of all the things, I love Invincible, love the show, love the comic. I don't know that this is like something that makes sense to me with the IP based on the characters. There are a ton of characters in the world, but I don't know.
A lot of them are Viltrumites. You know, a lot of them kind of have that same, all right, you got Superman powers.
Yeah, and even on the superhero side, there's like analogs to all of the superheroes we know across Marvel and DC, but like, I don't know.
Where's the Beast? What's his name?
Battle Beast.
Battle Beast. Where's Battle Beast? Why wasn't he in here?
He'll be there.
Yeah.
This seems like someone you got to show up. Like, you got to have some more, I would say, like, diversity in the trailer, because it's like 3 Viltrumites against Rexplosion, Adam Eve, and Invincible. I thought we'd see a lot more, clips and footage of other heroes, but it just seemed like, oh, wow. It looks cool, though.
It looks great. Yeah.
Yeah. I mentioned this during the live reaction, but I got to go down and play this game. I can't talk anything about it, but maybe later. You might hear me say some things. Maybe later.
Maybe later.
Maybe later.
Nice.
Yeah.
Damn, you're embargoing us? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Then next up, it's finally happening. Final Fantasy VII Intergrade, Remake Intergrade coming this winter, and Final Fantasy 16 Complete Edition drops today on Xbox. Hell yeah. I think that this is a sign that Rebirth will also come, and then probably Part 3 at launch, hopefully, but depending on PlayStation's exclusive deals, who knows how that'll go. But I think this is an incredible sign. 16 coming is an incredible sign. Square said that they are going multi-platform and that that's going to be the strategy going forward. I love to see that actually happening. I think it's going to be very key to their franchises being able to find the support that they need to continue to be made on the insane budget level that they have been. So I think this is great.
I urge anybody who's into character action games to play Final Fantasy 16. I know Final Fantasy 16 gets a lot of hate for what it is and it not being the classic sort of combat. I get that. I enjoy Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth and Remake's combat more. However, if you're the type of person that watches footage of Final Fantasy and maybe goes like, oh, I don't want to do these like little like silly activities and writing a little segue to like, if you're not into that type of stuff, or if you're not into how goofy anime can get tone wise, 16 is the one for you. You don't got to know shit about anything. Just play 16. I love the story so much. Like, the characters are so great. Ben Starr is so fucking awesome. And this game has some amazing relationship moments and some awesome characters and hype moments with crazy amounts of budget put into some of these boss fights.
Good cast of villains.
Yes.
And like good beef between characters.
Yeah.
They don't talk about like how important beef
hate.
is enough. Yeah. like when two characters just fucking hate each other.
Yeah.
Shout out to 16.
Shout out, dude. And then we got Double Fine's next game, Keeper, coming October 17th. This is another one without PlayStation 5 on it. My prediction was wrong. It's not a licensed game. But it looks cool. You are a lighthouse. It looks very Double Fine.
Very Double Fine.
A lot of colors, a lot of great visuals. Got my eye out for this one.
Great visuals, man. Like, I think I don't think Psychonauts 2 was ever the best looking game, but it's an awesome video game in its totality. This game looks really visually stunning in some of these moments where it's the lighthouse is crawling through like that little tunnel and the water looks great. This looks rad.
Barrett.
Yeah, I'm super stoked for this. Again, like that, I appreciated that prediction, Tim, but like Double Fine just doesn't seem like the studio to want to work with like other IP. Like let them get weird with their own imagination and creations. And this being something that like feels like a total like in between of like kind of what people expect from them from Psychonauts in terms of just being like kind of a 3D action, or not even action, but 3D adventure game, but just being something super weird. I love that. Like, I think this whale might be pulling from one of the game jam things from that we saw in Psych Odyssey. So I wonder if this game is pulling a lot of ideas from that original concept, which I'm really excited about. Yeah, I highly recommend. I forget to what Fortnite documentary it is, but I think we see a little bit of that in there if anybody is interested. And then I also just wanted to see, this is also just, as far as we see, Xbox Series X and S, which I do wonder is why of like the visuals of this looking much better, right? Because Psychonauts 2, I think, was last gen as well. So them kind of focusing just on kind of current gen hardware, I think is giving them the kind of fidelity push that we want from them.
Did you say Fortnite?
Yeah, their game jam stuff is called Fortnite. Not Fortnite as in the video game, but Fortnite as in the actual word, Fortnite. They get 2 weeks to develop little game projects.
Double Fine being Double Fine. Love that.
Yeah.
Don't change.
I love Elbug in chat says, I'm not playing as a lighthouse. Sorry.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
Brother, have some whimsy. Have some whimsy.
Get out of your comfort zone, man.
You know?
Play as a lighthouse.
I know you don't like lighthouses, but like, give it a chance.
I need a screenshot of just Blessing where he is right now with like, you know, the meme format where it's just a quote and say, brother, have some whimsy. Because I agree. I agree.
Have some fucking whimsy.
I totally agree.
And then we got Call of Duty Black Ops 7 to close the show out here.
I got a little rundown from the blog. I'll give you the full updates on that because we do have the blog post over on Call of Duty's blog. This is Call of Duty Black Ops 7 from Treyarch and Raven Software. This is a full package again for the first time in franchise history. They're going back to back with Black Ops games, set 40 years after Black Ops 6. So welcome to 2035. Max Cox, general manager, talked to the team and the blog a little bit more about how they're planning the Black Ops 7 full package. So you can, it says, prepare to squad up with friends or play solo in a thrilling and innovative co-op campaign. Harness near-future weaponry in a signature multiplayer experience packed with brand new maps and descend into the next twisted chapter of round-based zombies in the heart of the dark ether.
I mean, I wish they have all the time that they needed to work on this, Mike, because by the end of this, by the end of Black Ops 6 and playing that story, like everybody in the chat who had never experienced that campaign, including me who was experiencing it with them, was like, holy shit, let Raven make a campaign game. Let them just like really, really work hard on doing an awesome single player experience. And like, again, everything that they showed so far until we had the Call of Duty thing, we're like, multiplayer, whatever. This looks like it's going to be awesome as hell. I want to see them continue to get super creative with their campaigns.
Yeah, Treyarch has been cooking. We love the Black Ops universe. This is kind of one of those of everybody's been screaming, when do we get off the hamster wheel and give the teams a little more time and let them build stuff out? But of course, we know the annualized franchise of Call of Duty is a juggernaut. We're never leaving that. So it's wild to see this team have back-to-back at-bats. Hopefully the next team is getting more time, and hopefully this has got a lot of time. Because, Andy, you're so right. The campaign of Black Ops 6 was awesome. You got to play that. The issue that I read here is, you know me, I love playing with friends. I like the idea of a co-op campaign. My worry, though, is we saw them try to get innovate, and they tried to do a co-op campaign in Modern Warfare 3, and everybody said, ooh, that was a miss, right? That was the shorter one that had the open world missions, and we said, oh, you can beat that in one sitting. That wasn't it, right? Like, coming off of Black Ops 6, I want this campaign to be awesome and great. The idea that it could be co-op, hey, that's even better for me. I love that experience. I really hope that it gets the time, and I hope that it's awesome. The idea of building off of multiplayer, sure, we're going to add in futuristic guns. Who knows if we'll have wall running and crazy stuff like that. You would assume we'll get to the future stuff. But the idea of let's just build off of Call of Duty, give you some like DLC. It's going to be a new name and a new buy. But like, we're just building off of Black Ops 6. That's great. You know, it'll be interesting to see.
The chat just went by, so I don't have the name on it, but apparently a Hollywood Reporter just announced that Michael Rooker, Milo, and Kiernan Shipka are going to be in Black Ops 7, so that's pretty cool.
I mean, there's a couple things to talk about,
Jay
too.
Shaw. Shout out to Jay Shaw for that.
Black Ops is exciting, but that Phil message is where we got to hang. That Phil message that got us confused with Black Ops, but saying, hey, we're celebrating 25 years, and there's a team here. And he brought up Gears and Fable, and there's one more.
And Forza.
And you're like, oh, shit, Phil. What is that?
Fill up.
I mean,
and
you know
it's
what
like,
it is.
Yeah, but is it Halo 1?
Yes.
Are we rebooting?
Yes.
Is it Halo something else? It's exciting, Tim.
It's Halo 1 remake,
It's so
dude.
exciting.
25 years of Halo 1. It's going to be Halo in Unreal Engine 5. It just makes too much sense. Like, they put out that Unreal Engine 5 image of Chief, or was it even a short video or something, right? Like a clip of him doing that.
I think it was just the image, but it was the OG armor.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like they're gonna put that out, and then eventually the Halo Next or whatever is later. So yeah, I'm stoked for that. And yeah, I love it. Fable, Forza, Gears, and Halo all in one year, celebrating the 25th year of Xbox. That feels right.
That's exciting stuff. That's wild, and it's going to be awesome because that's definitely going to be multi-plat, which means it's going to have an insane install base. Everyone's going to be jazzed up on it. You're giving Gears of War and Halo a really great chance to kind of reemerge, get a new player base, and really come back and be great. It's going to be awesome to see those two games thrive.
We got a bunch of super chats I want to get through to close out the show today. Braden Mark says, I thought Call of Duty was going to stop being annual.
Never.
Yeah, when do they say that?
That will never happen.
Small Hands TV says, Leth from Team Cherry confirmed Silk Song's coming out before the holiday. So getting a lot of confirmations here from people.
Yeah, I can't imagine Matthew Griffin, who was the lead PR of that, as well as the lead PR of the other very Hollow Knight looking game with the Crow mask, well, Crow Sworn. I gotta imagine the DMs are blowing the fuck up right now. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. RDJ says no Starfield DLC or PS5 launch date.
What's
that
up with
is
that?
pretty surprising,
Yeah.
right?
Well, but I like it's weird because I think I was bringing up that, you know, are we gonna get PlayStation being named here, like, you know, or are we just gonna see logos? And that was one of the discussions. And we did get Gears of War remastered, saying like it's gonna be playable everywhere to everybody on whatever you know. And if PlayStation's really the only place that Starfield is not at, I'm not surprised that you aren't on an Xbox showcase saying, hey, remember that one game that you bought your Xbox for? It's also going to be on PlayStation. I'm not super shocked by that. I am surprised by a DLC sort of announcement. And I think that we'll get whatever Starfield DLC or Starfield on PlayStation news in a press release or in a tweet or in a whatever, some sort of announcement.
Maybe Gamescom, the DLC.
And then we got Cody Brandon saying no Starfield DLC and Elder Scrolls 6. I think the show's crazy. Also, Obsidian going hard to clean the slate almost guarantees they're making Fallout right. I feel like Fallout's common. But yeah, Elder Scrolls 6, like no one should have expected to see that here.
No.
Starfield, yes. I'm surprised it wasn't here.
No Replaced. That's a great call out. Rabbit
Yeah.
on crack.
When was the last time we saw Replaced? Because I feel like I gave up hope a while
It was
ago.
at Summer Game Fest playable last year.
I played
was
it.
it?
I played it
Yeah,
last
They
year.
were playing it.
Oh, well, I'm bad. My bad for giving up hope. My bad, Replaced
Yeah.
team.
I mean, I have.
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of the other game. What was the game that was announced in like 2020?
Last night.
The
The last night.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I'm thinking of.
No, Replace is the one that looked like the last night. It was like, oh, cool, we're getting a different dev working on a game of that style. And then I played it and I was like, combat's kind of whatever. And I hope that, you know, things are in the oven right now, cooking.
And then Elite Tub says, will we ever see Crash Team Racing 2? Am I holding false hope? We got Crash Nitro Kart on the PlayStation 2. I think that was the closest we'll ever get. I don't think we're seeing a Crash Team Racing sequel at any point.
We're lucky if we ever get another just Crash Bandicoot game that isn't what was it,
It's about time.
MOBA.
Oh, we'll get more Crash. We'll definitely get more
Crash Rumble?
Sells so
Crash
well.
Rumble.
Crash Team
yeah, that's
Rumble,
what it
bro.
is.
Yeah,
That was
we
a good time, bro.
dominated.
We were number one.
Yeah.
Top team NA.
And then we played a team that knew what they were doing.
Said, turn it off.
Started the next game.
Alec Taylor says, so is this Xbox Play Anywhere just cloud gaming, or do you natively play Xbox games on it? And this is what I was talking about of how confusing all this branding is. So Xbox Play Anywhere just means that you could buy the Xbox game via Xbox and you could play it on your PC or your Xbox or
They gotta get rid of that.
devices.
It goes
on
with-
your
gotta get rid of that.
It should just be your Xbox.
But you can't play it on
library, is
PlayStation.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Like that's PlayStation is not part of Xbox Play Anywhere because that's not how that works.
Is Nintendo part of Xbox?
Until they put their games
Oh,
up.
okay.
No,
Okay.
until they have that
I feel like
service.
the
Nor
Play
Steam.
When did Play Anywhere start? I feel like wasn't that
Xbox
like
One.
Xbox
Because
One?
I thought that was a
Yeah.
cloud thing.
No.
No, you're right. It's PC. My bad.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the cloud's a separate thing. And then the Xbox ROG, the Xbox Ally, can natively play Xbox games. It can also remote play via the cloud.
Yes.
They got to get rid of it because, of course, because this is the reason why you're able to play Xbox stuff on this. One is because Xbox partnered, but also it's just a PC thing.
To
So,
download the games. Yeah.
yeah, because it's a PC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It
Xbox
was
Play
So
marked
that
Anywhere-
should be expected.
Yeah.
I know, but that's the thing. Is the Xbox Play Anywhere just means when you buy the one code,
Yeah.
you have it on console and the PC anywhere
Smart
that has
delivery.
It's
the
not a
Xbox,
different SKU.
But that's been true for all Xbox games, right?
since they've introduced Play Anywhere, which is why they keep pushing that.
Yeah. I think it was
Just get rid of the
it was a marketing push that made sense when it was new back in 2013. I don't think we need to keep pushing it now.
I agree. That's
I
where
like
I'm at.
it. No, I think they're going to push this forever.
But I think
they're
it's-
welcoming you to the ecosystem. And when we bring that up, it's like you buy this once on an Xbox branded storefront, it's going to be on those anywhere you want to play.
I think it makes sense, except they're also pushing a bunch of other things at the same time. Like that's where I 100% agree with Tim, where you have Xbox Play Anywhere, like in between all these trailers, and I'm like, I know, like I already know that I can play this stuff anywhere. I feel like you just have to. I feel like people at this point understand that when you buy something on Xbox, that means you're buying it on PC as well.
I don't know. I think they're going to say this for the next 5+ years. They'll probably say this forever, Bless. Of like they're getting a new fan base. They're trying to garner a new fan base to come in to a losing platform that was Xbox proper with the consoles and say, hey, we're here. We want to encourage you that if you spend your money, it's going to be everywhere. And they're going to do that forever, bro. They'll do that forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're never dropping it. And people will always be confused. Like Alec Taylor writing
Like
in.
this is an Xbox is a better branding slogan.
And then we have the final one of the day. Mr. Nice Guy Ryson, you guys crushed it all week. Welcome back, Mikey. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us this week and for continuing to hang out with us each and every weekday. We're all about live talk shows. We do Games Daily, breaking down the biggest video game news every morning. Gamescast, talking all about video game reviews, previews, predictions, big topics in gaming. We do a whole bunch of game streaming as well as in review, where we review, rank, and recap different movie franchises. We're kicking off with Superman in review this week, and a little tease this week we're also getting our Mario Kart World review and our Nintendo Switch 2 review so far, in addition to a whole bunch of other great content. Thanks for hanging out with us. Have a fantastic day. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.